Okay, we are solving one-step equations. Now, our goal when solving one-step equations is to get the variable by itself. So that after we're done solving, all that's left is the variable equals a number. So we're getting the variable by itself. And to do that, we're going to use the opposite operation. So whatever's happening to the variable, we do the opposite. Let's try it out. So example A here says x plus 7 equals 15. So the variable x is being added by 7, so we're going to subtract 7 because that's the opposite. These 7's will cancel out. 7 minus 7 is 0, so we just have x equals 15 minus 7 is 8. And anytime you solve an equation, you can check the answer. Just take that number and plug it in here for x, and then you can mentally check it. 8 plus 7, that is 15, so we know the answer is correct. Always a good idea to just mentally check the answer. Okay, so let's go on to example B. It says y minus 3 equals 4, so we're going to add 3 to both sides of the equation because that's the opposite operation. So y equals 4 plus 3, that's 7. Moving on. Example C, b plus 1 equals negative 8. Plus 1 is what's happening. We're going to subtract 1 from both sides. So b equals negative 9. Be careful there. Negative 8 minus 1 is negative 9. Now remember, we're doing the opposite operation for what's happening to the variable. So work from the side of the equation that has the variable. So for this case, this is n minus 4 equals negative 4. We're going to add 4 to both sides. These will cancel out. And actually, since it's the same number, this will also cancel. So we have n equals negative 4 plus 4, that's 0. And it's okay to get 0 for an answer, as long as it's correct. So in example E, this is what I was emphasizing. We want to work from the side with the variable. This says w plus 6, but see, it's on the right-hand side. It's okay, just do the same thing. W plus 6, the opposite is minus 6. The 6's cancel here, and w is equal to 3 minus 6 is negative 3. If you like the variable to be on the left, just rewrite it. That's fine. Means the same thing. Okay, v minus 3 here, so we're going to add 3. The 3's cancel, and v equals negative 2. And again, you can rewrite it so that the variable is on the left-hand side. Okay, so there are the addition-subtraction examples. Let's move on and do some multiplication. So part G says 3x equals 12. Now that 3x, that means 3 times x. So we're going to divide for the opposite operation. Divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, so x, 1x, or just x, equals 12 divided by 3 is 4. And there's your answer. On part H, again, we have the variable on the right-hand side, but still do the same work, right? It says 2 times p, so we're going to divide by 2. Those 2's will cancel, and p equals negative 2. Again, feel free to rewrite that if you like. For example I, it says negative x equals 5. That's a negative 1 in front of the x, so you can divide by negative 1. And x will equal negative 5. Now, if you have a fraction in front of your variable, it still means multiplication. So this first one says 2/3 times x, and we're going to divide both sides by 2/3. But you have to remember the way to divide by a fraction is to multiply by the reciprocal, which is the flipped fraction. So take the fraction and flip it. So we're going to multiply both sides by 3 over 2. The 3's will cancel, the 2's will cancel, leaving just x on that side. Now for 14 times 3 over 2, you got to take 14 times 3 and then divide by 2. So 14 times 3 is 42, divided by 2 is 21. If you'd prefer, it works the same way if you divide first. So you could have done 14 divided by 2 times 3. 14 divided by 2 is 7, times 3 is 21. You do get the same answer. So just depending on which way you'd prefer to do the math, I usually multiply first just because it makes more sense to me, but dividing works just as well. All right, last one. Flip the fraction and multiply, so times 2 over 5. Again, the 2's and 5's will cancel here. Over here, negative 25. Now, so you've got a negative 25 times a positive 2/5. So negative times a positive is a negative. And if you worry about the negative, if you take care of it first, you can ignore it for the rest of the problem. So 25 times 2, that's 50. And then divide by 5 is 10. So our answer here is negative 10. So there are your completed notes for one-step equations.